Hi, I'm Roisin Levine. I'm head of UK and European Partnerships at Wise Platform. Welcome to our mini-series, How We're Fixing. I'll be talking to leaders in the fintech and banking space about the problems they're solving for their customers. I'm delighted to have on our podcast today Paul Albert, SVP of Global Sales at Payhawk. Payhawk are a brilliant fintech that's fixing the problem of expense management for CFOs and their employees. Paul, thank you so much for coming on. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and your role today.
Sure, well, thanks for having me. As you said, my name is Paul Albert. I'm the Senior Vice President of Global Sales at Payhawk. Payhawk believes that traditional expense management processes are fundamentally broken. They, in fact, impede business growth and create a lot of friction with employees. See, anybody that's done an expense report pretty well doesn't like doing expense reports.
Yeah.
So we try to make some joy out of that.
Cool, thank you so much. And in terms of kind of a little bit about Payhawk and the kind of mission itself,
Sure.
Where did that kind of come from as the idea?
So Payhawk was founded in Sofia, Bulgaria 4 years ago. Well, 4 years ago in 2 weeks. We celebrated our birthday at the Black Sea of Bulgaria 2 weeks ago. And it was formulated by our two co-founders, Hristo and Boyko, who had worked together for a number of years at a previous software company in Bulgaria. And really, they came at this and understood that there's a big problem that most companies faced. And they wanted to create a company that solved a big problem that most companies faced. In the 4 years since then, this company has just gone from strength to strength. We've been the first unicorn outside in Bulgaria. Sorry,
amazing. Congratulations!
Thank you very much. And it was from Series A to unicorn within a year. So raised second largest Series B in Central Eastern Europe, which we're super proud of, which is really fueling the growth that we have in store for Europe and soon for other markets as well.
Wow, and I see you're operational in like 30 countries at the moment.
We have customers in 30 different markets, correct. So any Eurozone country, obviously the UK and as well as Bulgaria, Romania, and we'll be adding in more currencies as we grow.
Great. And this problem of expense management and kind of spend management companies, it's obviously a big problem because there's lots of, I guess, different companies trying to fix it. Mm-hmm. When you're talking to CFOs, then what are the main challenges they face today on that?
Well, I think the two primary challenges that you hear consistently with CFOs is lack of visibility and lack of control.
Right.
That if you think through how companies typically manage expenses, at the end of the month, every employee submits their expenses in some sort of archaic form, or some might use an app. But the fact is that until they close out month end, which typically happens on day 10 of the new month, you have no visibility or insight into how much you've actually spent that month.
Right.
That's problem number one. Number two, if you're going through that month, you have no visibility into actually what spend is in the moment. So if you want to make quick maneuvers or control what people can spend on, you've got to wait to the next month to enact that. So you're always behind.
Got you. And so for your finance team then, so you've got your CFO that's got the main problem of heading all of that up. Mm-hmm. For the rest of the finance team, how does this make their life easier, something like Payhawk?
Well, depending on the size of the organization, but it differs slightly, but overall it remains broadly the same. In traditional processes, they're manual and they're human-driven, which means they're prone for error, and they're not really fun to do. Like if you're sitting there doing a repeatable job, we think software is a much better way to do it. Is the first part. The other part is manual processes are also prone to error because we done humans to do human things, and humans do make mistakes. That's why with next generation credit cards, that data entry is automatic into your finance system at the moment of spend. What it also means is, as a CFO or as a financial controller, that I can control on what an employee spends their money on. I can say that they can only spend this much on online, or I can only spend this much on travel, or whatever those things are. Yep. So you can enact controls right at the point of entry. The additional side point of that is, as an employee, most companies have 1 or 2 credit cards up to when they're like 200-300 employees. Yep. And you've got to hey, can I borrow your credit card? And then they've got to pay for it. And then you've got to say, hey, what's a one-time passcode that you've got from the 2-factor authentication? Yeah. And it's a real nightmare. And then from an employee's perspective, one thing I've always thought about is, well, why doesn't the company trust me with a credit card, right? And in this case, you can empower employees to be able to have their own personal credit card as a bit of an employee perk, but it actually benefits a company at the same time.
Yeah, and there's this idea, I guess, the employee's not out of pocket because you're spending
Correct.
on the company credit card.
Correct.
It's a much quicker process then to reconcile everything.
Correct. And when you use a Payhawk card, as soon as you tap or enter your PIN or hit enter online, notification on your app to be able to take a picture of the receipt, job done.
Yeah. And do you think that has an impact on company culture? If employees...
100%.
Yeah, I guess because they're out of pocket often with expenses, it's an admin task they don't like.
100%. As you know, I've been in sales for my entire adult life. I won't tell you how old I am, it's too old. And expense reports have been a nightmare my entire existence.
Yeah.
And you'd leave them off to the last minute, even though it's your own money. It's your own money, right?
Yeah,
And a lot of times I'd be traveling a lot, you'd be waiting on thousands of pounds of your own money.
Yeah.
But you just want to go through the pain, right? So the pain of same bigger than the pain of change comes into play. And then additionally, there is a good feeling. When I joined Payhawk, and through the post I got my Payhawk credit card.
Yeah.
It's a nice feeling, right? It's a nice little, you go, hey, all right.
Yeah, you're sort of empowered. You know that's yours. There's a budget.
The company
for
trusts you, and you're in control, and you're an adult because people hire adults to do adult work, and we should treat them like that.
Yeah, and I think there's quite a bit of statistics out there about the amount of lost money for employees because they haven't sometimes either bothered to do the expenses correctly or they lose receipts and things like that.
I'm sure I've lost thousands of pounds over the years myself.
It's not great.
100%. And so it's not great on the employees. And again, for the company itself, it's not great. And then if you take that even further, what we're doing is taking it further, is saying, okay, well, now you've got the expenses coming in. How do you reimburse? How do you reimburse? Because sometimes there is out of pocket, or how do you do things?
Yeah.
If you log into a traditional bank, traditional banks aren't known for having great software, right? So really the power of Payhawk is not the card, it's the connection of that next generation card to a software platform that sits on top of your bank account, where you give you sort codes, account numbers, IBANs to make and receive payments in a very intuitive fashion. So it just makes everything easier.
Got you. And this, I guess, goes for the finance team too, because I think, and often the complaint is people in finance, they don't want to just be doing the admin. You ultimately want to do some value-added things for the company. You want to feel like you're also making an impact.
At a recent conference in Amsterdam, a CFO network, I did a little bit of a straw poll, and it was 90% of the CFOs said that 80% of their job was reactive.
Right.
80% reactive. And if you look through any of the articles on McKinsey, the thought leadership from McKinsey or Deloitte on the future of the finance function, it's all about becoming value-added consultants to the business, helping the company spend better, helping make better decisions, helping with negotiation, helping with data, because they deal with a high level of data and data accuracy.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of skills and governance that can help the rest of the organization, but they're hampered because they're being reactive.
Yeah.
So we think that by empowering them to become proactive will help them move into this next generation of how finance leaders should be working.
Where they're kind of giving insights, and I guess they're more business 100%. Partnering. It's a very different kind of job.
Take them out of the back office and put them in the front office.
Yeah. They've got those insights. They understand the company from that perspective. So why not?
And not only that, how many times have people had the finance team chasing them for receipts, right?
Yeah.
And people viewing the finance team as the bad guys, right?
Right,
No, they're chasing me. And here it's no, we're here to help, right? Because they are in a very great position with a huge amount of insight in terms of core metrics in the organization to be able to help drive the organization forward. But if they're stuck behind their desk reacting to inbound demands, they'll never get out. So we really want to free them from the monotony of repeatable tasks that are better performed by machines, by software, and empower the business to be able to move the business forward.
Got you. And I know that you have like an automated receipt chaser, so I guess that's sort of taken out of their hands. They can not worry about that task.
Exactly. And from that, we moved into a whole bunch of other areas. We're going to continue to expand into more of helping for employees' trip management. So for travel management of mileage or per diems, or because people are paying for subscriptions, managing subscriptions at scale, right? So there's a bunch of other applications that we see that we can automate the back office by through our platform. And so the cards are a part of our system, but not the part of the system. Got you.
And what about some of the legacy players in your space? Do you think they can look at fintechs and learn from them? Are they starting to catch up?
Yeah, it's yes is the short answer. We are looking to partner with a number of the traditional ERP players, for example.
Okay.
And one of our biggest beliefs and what makes us different, I think, from what I can see in our some of the people that have been in market a little bit longer than us, is we believe in the freedom of data flow within an organization. So direct live integrations are a big thing for us. We don't want to do CSV exports, right?
Yeah.
That's just that's not an integration,
painful,
right?
yeah.
It's manual process that should be automated. So we've recently launched our NetSuite integration. We're the first in the market to be able to do that. It's a very powerful integration that will just, again, save more time for the finance team so they can start moving to the front office and be more value added.
Brilliant. And leading on from that, you use open banking. Can you talk to us a little bit about how that's used at Payhawk?
Well, again, because we believe in software, right?
Yeah.
We're a software company by birth. We're not, cards are a necessary component to what we do. So from an open banking perspective, again, our software platform sits on top of your bank to open, from that perspective, we do fundamentally believe in it.
Brilliant. So basically they can use Payhawk alongside their business bank
100%.
and enhance that.
Exactly. They've got deep, a lot of these companies, when we look at our sweet spot, it's really fast growing companies, over 35 to 40 people, all the way up to 10,000. And so we've got a wide addressable market with our current tool set, and we'll continue to move up market. But with companies that have multiple entities, multiple country locations, that have the complexity, we think that we just want to be able to, they've got deep relationships with their banking partners. We're not looking to replace that. We're looking to augment that and make it just even more powerful.
Got you. And it's interesting, your focus is also startups through to scale-ups and through to kind of larger mid-tier. I guess
Correct.
Sometimes you might see a company that becomes a kind of startup client or partner of Payhawk, and then you'll see that whole journey and begin to fix other problems they might have along that scaling.
Exactly this. So we're in it for the long term. And while we're one of the newest players in the market, our speed of development is really part of our secret sauce. We do over 300 releases a year. A lot of those are, of course, small releases, but we do a lot of big releases every season. And because we're focused on building great software that solves real business problems.
Yeah.
And because of that focus, as we grow, the expansion of the use cases and types of customers we can serve will continue to increase as well.
Got you. And so far as a company, you very much focus on that spend money, that kind of money out sort of part of the business. Is there potential in the future to look at the receivables, another kind of, I guess, pain point sometimes?
Yeah, there definitely is, but I think there's a matter of focus. We're still, even though we've almost tripled in size this year already, we've got a lot on our plate already. Yeah. And especially as we move up market, there's some other really established things that are already there.
Sure.
So we want to get really good at what we're really good at and make sure that we're really good at that.
Amazing. Okay, makes sense. And I guess last question is, you're already a unicorn, you've got a great product. What's the next now thing for Payhawk? What's going to be the big future, I guess, move?
So there's geographic expansion, deepening into the geographies that we're in, and our product development roadmap is fire. It's exciting.
Right.
There's a lot more coming. Stay tuned, because every season we'll be dropping more and more. Like I said, we're the first to drop our NetSuite integration.
Yep.
We've launched the first version of our trip management functionality. Next season in autumn, we'll be dropping some other big stuff coming.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we'll watch out for loads of announcements. And thank you again for coming in and talking to us about that.
Well, a pleasure, and thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Cheers.